Hello, Amazing Ampharos here, with part 2 of my The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past Minimalist Run. This segment is going to be all about the first major Light World dungeon, the Eastern Palace. Now, the game tells you to go to Kakariko and try to find information about the Elder, get a lot of useful items. I can't get any of those items on a Minimalist Run, and I already know where I'm going. So instead, I'm just going to dive headlong into getting past the Hyrulean army straight to my destination. Now, there have to be at least 50 soldiers patrolling around the world, and they use their superior numbers on me for the powerful tactic of splitting up into groups of 1 or 2 and challenging me in small conflicts. I guess they really aren't believers in Sun Tzu. And then you have these Octoroks, which I'm only told they're Octoroks. If you ask me, they don't really look anything like the Octoroks from any of the other games. I mean, I guess they shoot rocks like Octoroks. Pretty low bar. And, of course, the only other interesting thing I'm moving past on my single-minded quest to get to the first dungeon is Sarasala's house, or however you pronounce his name. Sarasala, or Sarasahala, or whatever, is supposed to be the Kakariko Elder and kind of your advice guy. There's a lot of telepathic tiles to contact him throughout the game. But no one really remembers him simply because his name is so difficult that most people avoid ever typing or saying it just so they can avoid the embarrassment of getting it wrong. On the other hand, everyone remembers the other helpers Nintendo learned and gave them names like Navi, Toddle, Midna, Fi. Short and easy. Of course, short and easy is kind of this dungeon. But you're going to see why I really don't worry too much about money throughout the run. Because here, 112 rupees, just ripe for the taking. And I'm at 160 out of the 710 I need for the whole game, and I'm just getting started. Of course, the funny thing with knowing where you're going is sometimes you forget what's the way you're not going. I honestly can't remember at all what the end room of going right at that fork looks like. I haven't done it in years. And even though I've kind of been talking down on how easy this dungeon is, it does have a lot of interesting rooms. The way you have to walk in a circle to summon these guys isn't like anything else in the game. So even though it's kind of free, it's at least interesting. Compass I don't need. Telepathic tile to Sarasasasla I don't need. This room gives me my arrows. And even though I also don't need to kill these guys, for reasons I still don't fully understand myself, I'm doing it anyway. At least I'm getting my arrows. But not from him. And of course, this whole big loop I'm on is the path to the big key. You get to see those fire fairies. They drain magic and do good damage when they hit you, and they kind of tend to pin you. It'd be a threat if I weren't just rushing past all the enemies as fast as I can. But I am doing that, so they're not a threat. And of course, not a lot going on in this room. Though my recording froze up twice in this room, so I've had to redo the commentary several times. This room's pretty fun. It's actually possible to lift up that pot without killing all these enemies, but it's difficult, and I'd prefer not to do something difficult. And not this way, please. A big key for me. There's the easy way through here and the way that gets me 5 rupees. Luckily, the fire fairies cooperated because I want my 5 rupees. That door I just went through actually looks like a small key door from the other side. It's the only time in the game you see a big key door from the back. I guess they didn't decide that making another tile was worth it. And there was an incredibly smooth move on my part, where I throw a pot in an enemy so I don't take a hit, and then, just in case the pot misses, hit him with that spin attack. Real smooth. And in another smooth move here, I managed to use the 2 pots to take out the 2 big enemies here. Though failing at that, I know I can always pull out my bow since I'm full on arrows anyway. It would be a really good idea. Because, you know, fighting these guys with a sword is really slow. My resource-saving neurosis is going to be the death of me. The fun fact about this room, if you die in here without getting all the rupees, but get at least one of them, they're all gone when you come back. Of course, since I want that money, that would be a pretty terrible thing to happen. Though I'm not going to lie, it's happened to me before. There's the arrows to make up for those arrows I didn't shoot against those enemies earlier. But what makes me special is I learn from my mistakes, even on the fly. It's just too easy to be stingy in this game. Kinda like life, you can't be too stingy. Sometimes you just gotta let go and get it done. And I'm coming up on the first boss. I'll spoil it for you, the guy gets annihilated. Or by guy, I mean 6 guys. This is kind of a fun boss in the sense that if you're a really bad shot and manage to miss like that several times, and run out of arrows before killing them, you will have to fight them with the sword, and they take, like, what, 20 blows to kill? I've seen a lot of people new to the game get stomped by him. But once you realize hitting him once lets you combo him, it's pretty much done. Though I'm not going to end the video here quite yet, because there's a couple more required items near the dungeon. Most importantly, I'm going to go talk to our good buddy Sarasasasala, because he has the Pegasus Boots that are going to greatly reduce on the amount of awkward talking I'm going to have to fill the gaps with while I cross otherwise empty areas. There's also the fact that they're required to beat the game, which is why I have to get them and therefore am getting them. And story about how I need the Pendant of Courage, the legend about the Knights of Hyrule, how I can get the Master Sword. The Master Sword would be a handy required item, so let's go for it. Telling me about the Ice Rod, which I am not going to get for quite a long time. I'm going to get some bombs, which aren't actually required until very late in the game. But since they're required, I might as well get them now. Some money, and signing out.